Hi budget babes, hi budget bros, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here or returning, welcome to the budget family. Hey you guys, if you've been budgeting, saving, or paying off debt for the last few months, this video is your quarterly check-in moment. I have been saying for the longest that I wanted to start doing quarterly reviews and just incorporating this into my videos. I do have a video of me doing a quarterly review, but today's going to be a little bit different and we're going to be trying a new system that I'm so excited to share with you guys. We're going to be flipping through the numbers today. We're going to see how far you've came, and I'm going to be walking through exactly how to do a quarterly audit, even if you've never done one before. I'm excited. We're going to check your spending habits, your debt, your savings, a full progress reflection. I know that this sounds very scary and it sounds overwhelming. I did my quarterly, we did a whole monthly audit last year going into 2025, and after talking to my clients and just seeing the numbers and the reality of what we've seen going into the new year, I said, why don't we do this every quarter so you can just kind of see where you're at, see your progress. If you feel stuck, if you feel behind, it kind of just gives us a second to just reclock in and just remember why we started. A lot of times my clients say they feel like they lack motivation or they don't feel encouraged. So we're going to be talking about all that fun stuff in this video, you guys, and how we're going to stop budgeting blindly and make real changes to our finances. Even if you feel like you haven't done anything in the last 3 months, we're going to talk about how you can fix it, get on track. And if you're new to starting your budget journey, you guys, this video is going to be very helpful for getting started. Plus I have something special coming for my subscribers only, so make sure you guys keep watching till the end. But we're going to get straight in here and talk about everything, and I'm excited. I have a piece of paper and we are going to be using my personal budget planner, and we are going to be using my personal spending habits in the last 3 months. So if you don't have a budget planner, grab your bank statements from the last 3 months and follow along on this video, and I'm going to get you started on your financial quarterly audit. So guys, I do want to apologize in advance. My dog is bringing his food in here and chewing it in my office. He likes to be by me, and whenever he eats, I'm not ruining that moment, so I'm just going to let him be in the background. So if you guys hear some crunching, just know it's my dog. But what we're going to go ahead and do, you guys, is we're going to set up our quarterly audit. So we're going to go ahead and put quarterly financial audit. So if you just have a piece of paper, or you can do this on your iPad. I like to do it on my piece of paper. I just feel like it hits different. So we're going to put quarterly financial audit, and then I want you to put for the months that we're going to start from April all the way until basically June. So these are the 3 months that we're going to focus on. I'm going to put last 3 months. And then we'll have another quarterly checkup in the next 3 months. So we're going to be focusing on April to June. And what we want to focus on is our spending. So we're going to put our things that we're going to focus on. But before we get to our spending, I want you to go ahead and do a progress check-in. So the progress check-in is where we're going to go ahead and write down these 3 things that I want you to put here, because this is going to be important, you guys, for our progress check-in. Let me go ahead and write it out here. So for our progress check-in section, we're going to go ahead and put our credit score, because we want to check what our credit score is in the last 3 months. We want to go ahead and check in on our debt balance. So we're going to add up all of our debt that we have. And then we also want to check in on our savings balance. So these are 3 things that we want to check in for this check-in, you guys. So we want to check on our credit score, our debt balance, and our savings balance, because those are going to be important things that we want to make sure we're reaching those goals. Did you set a savings goal for this year? Did you set a debt payoff plan for this year? How much debt do you have, and how much did we already take care of? So we're going to go ahead and write that. All right, you guys. So if you don't have a budget planner, you're going to grab your bank statements from the last 3 months. So here is my April reality check. I'm going to be using my reality check because I added up everything every single month. So it's going to have all these categories already added up for me. So it's going to make the process easier. So we're going to be using April all the way until June. I have my yellow planner and my purple planner just because I personally used a different planner 1 month for April because I was feeling purple. Don't ask me why. Financial coach brain. I wanted to use purple for my demonstration on my own planner, but my physical full planner is in yellow. So that's why I have 2 different templates here, you guys. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to write down our categories. So for our audit, there's a few categories that I want to focus on. I want to focus on groceries, eating out, gas, subscriptions, credit card interest, credit card minimums, unplanned expenses, self-care, afterpay, affirm, Klarna, and impulsive. These are things that we don't know, or we don't really know how much we average on. So we want to write those in our quarterly review so we can see how much we're averaging on these categories. How many times have you wondered how much you've spent on eating out in the whole year, right? You're like, oh my gosh, we eat out so much, or we don't eat out so much, or I don't think we eat out that much, but you feel like your pockets are being financially hurt from eating out. So we're going to literally break down every category so you can see what you've spent in those categories for the last few months. And we're even going to do an impulsive category. So if you have been following the reality checking page each month, it's going to make this process easier. But if not, you guys, you're just going to pull your bank statement and grab some highlighters, and we're going to get straight into it. So let's go ahead and write those out, our categories out. And then if you have a category that I'm not mentioning on here, don't forget to make your own. You can put whatever you want. I do have the audit sheet on here from our previous audit a few months ago, but we're just going to go ahead and write it on a piece of paper this time, just this time instead, so you can follow along as well. If you want to use the audit sheet, you can, you guys, but I'm just going to do it regular since I did make a new sheet that we're potentially going to bring to the surface. So let's go ahead and write out our categories. So for the first category I'm going to do is I'm going to put groceries. I want to know how much I spent on groceries in the last 3 months. So I'm going to put groceries. I'm going to put eating out. I'm going to put transportation. / gas. Then I'm going to go ahead and do subscriptions. And then I'm going to do credit card interest. And then I'm also going to do credit card minimums. So if you do have any credit card minimums, let's see how much we've been spending on minimums and interest for the last 3 months. So here's the first categories that we have: groceries, transportation, credit card interest, credit card minimums, eating out, subscriptions. Then I'm going to go ahead and do self-care / beauty, because that one usually adds up for me as well. And then we're going to go ahead and do household items. Those are one of the things that we really don't have an average for each month. So we're going to go ahead and do household to see if I need to adjust that budget. And then we're going to go ahead and do afterpay. / affirm. And Klarna. If you use any of the pay now, buy laters, we want to see how much we totaled in spending for those. And then we also want to do coffee runs / shopping. How much have we spent on shopping, spending, coffee, things of that nature? Those things tend to add up. And then we also want to do unplanned and emergencies. And then we also want to do impulsive. Okay, so those are the categories we're going to focus on as of right now, you guys. So groceries, transportation, credit card interest, credit card minimums, subscriptions, eating out, household, coffee runs, Affirm, Afterpay, Klarna, Unplanned, and Impulsive. And I think that's everything. If you have a category that's not on here, let me know in the comment sections what you wind up adding in there, you guys. So we're gonna go ahead, now that we have our template set up, we're gonna go ahead and get started, you guys. So let's go ahead and put a little line right here, because for the last part of this, you guys, we're going to put our total for spending for this quarter, and then our total income for the quarter as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our planner or our bank statements, and let's go ahead and add up what we spent for the last 3 months in each category. All right, so for the month of April, I spent $153 on groceries. Let's go ahead and look for the month of May and June. So for the month of May, I spent $82 on groceries. So we're gonna go ahead and do the math really quickly on here. So we have, let's see, I have a lash in my little calculator. I'm gonna go ahead and do the math. So we have 82 plus 153. And then for the month of June, I spent $170 on groceries. So for the last 3 months, I spent about $405 on groceries. So not too bad, not too bad. So now let's go ahead and look at our eating out, the one that scares me the most. Oh, you guys, and I also forgot to put my credit score progress on here. So I'm going to put my credit score. My credit score is currently 795. I did apply for another credit card, so I had a high inquiry, but that is my credit status right now. My debt status is 0, and then my savings balance, I'm going to keep that anonymous for my own personal reasoning. But that is my balance. So if you want to write all this, and of course this is anonymous, nobody has to know these numbers but you, but I'm going to keep that to myself. But you're going to go ahead and write down that information there, your credit score, your debt balance, and then your savings balance. Now let's go ahead and add up eating out for the last few months. For the month of April, I went ahead and spent $67 on eating out. So $67 for the month of April. For the month of June, I spent $112, and for the month of May, to go back here, I need to put a little bookmark. For the month of May, I spent $62 on eating out. So eating out for the last 3 months, I spent the total of $241. Now let's go ahead and start with transportation. For gas, the month of April, I only spent $28. For gas in May, I spent $75. And then gas in June, I spent $58. So for gas and transportation, I would have spent $161 on that. Now for subscriptions, my subscriptions are usually the same for the last 3 months. I spent about $47 each month is usually what I average for my subscriptions. All right, so now we're going to go to the next category, credit card interest. I don't keep a balance on my credit cards, so I have 0 for interest, and I also don't have just the minimums for credit cards. I pay them off in full each month. Now for self-care, starting for the month of May, what did I spend for self-care? Or for April, we're in April. And then you can even go back and look in your expense tracker, you guys. So if you're missing anything, make sure you go ahead and add it up. This is my expense tracker from April. And I didn't get my nails done in April. Or maybe I got my nails done later that month or earlier the next month. But I don't have anything for self-care for the month of April. But for May, for self-care, I spent $80. And for the month of June, let's see what we spent for the month of June. For the month of June, I spent $80. And then I guess I can add my hair in there. I'm going to add my hair in there too because I did get my hair done in May. So we spent about $420 on self-care in the last 3 months. Okay, not so bad, not so bad. Looks like we're making progress here. Okay. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and head into the next categories. So for household, I don't have a budget for household items. I just included in my shopping and spending budget. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make a household section, you guys, for myself moving forward. And I also didn't add gym memberships to this, you guys. So let me go ahead. Actually, I'm not going to add the gym membership only because for the gym, we're not putting really bills on here, you guys. We're putting variables just so you can see a clue. But you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and add it on here. I'm going to add memberships. So I don't know if that matters to you. You got to let me know in the comments, you guys. I didn't put bills on here just because bills, I feel like, aren't really the main thing that's messing us up when it comes to budgeting. It's usually our variables or, you know, these things that catch up to us, which we don't know that we're spending money on. But yeah, if you guys want to add it in there, you can. So I'm gonna do 32 plus 32, and then I'm also gonna add 100 because I have my annual fee. So for gym memberships, I spent about 164. So sorry, you guys, I didn't think to add that in there just because I wasn't really focusing on bills. But if you do want to add bills to your audit, your quarterly audit to you guys, if you want to know how much you spent on electric, your utilities, I think that's a good one to add in there. But I'm not focused on that right now, just mainly this stuff. So for household, I'm just going to put 0, even though it was included in my spending, but we'll put it in the shopping / spending category, and then moving forward, I'll go ahead and break that down. So for Affirm, Klarna, 0. I don't use any of the shop now, pay later sites. For unplanned, for the month of April, we had nothing that was unplanned. So unplanned for April was 0. And then unplanned for the month of May was 25. And then for the month of June, for unplanned, we had 0. So just $25 of unplanned emergencies came up for the last 3 months. And the reason why it's so important to add your unplanned, you guys, is because your unplanned can mess up your savings. Let's say you had $1,000 in your savings and then you had to pull from that savings. Still document that in your planner, so when you're like bummed and you're like, oh, I thought I built my savings, I let go of myself, you knew what the unplanned expense was. I don't want us to be hard on ourselves when we have unplanned expenses, because there's so many other things that are more important than just focusing on that. So the next thing we're going to talk about is coffee runs and shopping, which is a thing that I don't want to talk about, but we need to talk about it because it's so important. And you guys are literally going to think that like I'm lying when I say how much I spend, because I really do not spend money like that. If you've been watching me do my budgets, I've been very firm on saving and just cutting my spending. I like to eat out. That is my luxury. And a lot of the spending that I do is for my business. So that when it comes to spending, I feel like I don't really go out and spend a lot of money. I don't go buy shoes. I don't buy purses. I don't buy clothes like that. And it's not because I can't afford to. It's just because I don't really have the need for it. Me personally, I don't know. I like to invest my money back into my business. So that's kind of why my personal spending is very light. And you're gonna be like, what? You barely spend money, Jaliyah. What are you doing? But it's so true. So we're gonna go ahead and add it up, and you guys are gonna be in disbelief. But if you've been watching me show my progress on my expense tracker weekly, you will see that I'm not really a heavy spender. So for the month of April, I spent a total of $64 on spending. For the month of May, I spent a total of $238 on spending. And for the month of June, I only spent $24 on spending / miscellaneous shopping. So I spent the total of about $326 for spending. And then for coffee runs, my coffee runs are in my impulsive section. So those are going to be a part of my impulsive spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and just highlight these little categories. This is actually so fun. It's gonna take a little bit longer, guys, if you're just doing your bank statements, but it's gonna be so nice to see your numbers and what are you aware of. So now the fun one is the impulsive. So impulsive for the month of April. You guys, I used to drink energy drinks every single month and I stopped, and that has cut my impulsiveness down by a lot. So impulsiveness was $39. And that usually includes my coffee runs in there too, you guys. So coffee runs, energy drinks, things like that. I'm very intentional of making sure I have a spending budget. So even though I'm not a heavy spender, every single month I give myself about $250. So I have a cushion to make sure I don't have impulsiveness going on. So all right, you guys, that's everything for the last 3 months that I have in my categories. If you have anything different, make sure you add it on there for you guys so you're not missing out on it. But yeah, that's everything I have in those categories. So let's go ahead and get to the next process that we're going to do for our quarterly audit. Alright, you guys, so the next thing we're going to do, since we already added everything, everything has a category, just go through your bank statements one more time. I'm pretty accurate. I'm making sure I'm checking my bank statements and everything's good to go. So if you want to do one more flashback and look. But the next thing we're going to do is total our spending. So you want to total your spending for this quarter. So we're going to go ahead and add up everything and see what we spent for the month. 405 plus 161 plus 326 plus 241 plus 141 plus 164 plus 420 plus 25 plus 39. So for our basically our variables for the month, our total would have been about 1922. So this is my total spending for variables for the last 3 months. A lot of people say I want to go on vacation, but I never have money to go on vacation. What are you spending every day? Are you happy with this number? Do you feel overwhelmed looking at this number? How does this feel for you? This is what I average in the span of 3 months based off my expenses. Does that feel overwhelming for you guys? Look at your numbers as we're doing this and let me know what you think about that in the comments. And then you're also going to put your total income for this quarter. So I want you to go ahead and write down your total income that you made. Why is this important? Most of the times we say we make money, but we feel like we don't have any money left over. So if we're not including bills in here, right, our everyday survival methods, I want you to minus your income from your total of expenses for your variables and tell me what you think about the number that you have. Does that make you feel overwhelmed? Does that make you feel confident? Or do you feel like you're overspending in these categories? Do you feel like you're overwhelmed? So you're going to do your total income, and then the next thing I want you to do is write down your biggest accomplishment. I want you to go ahead and write down your biggest accomplishment for this quarter. Could be something small, it could be something big, it can be something that you're happy about that you reached for the quarter. I'm going to go ahead and say opening my business credit card, opening another line, because this year I was so focused on my business credit, building my personal credit to get to the point where I'm able to open bigger doors for my business credit has been exciting. I have been working on business credit for a while now. I actually do need to check my credit score for my business because that is a separate credit score, but I'm going to say opening my new credit card. That was very exciting for me and I feel confident. Opening my new credit card. Okay. Perfect. And for a little transparency post, I'm gonna share that my income was 5 figures in the last 3 months. I have made over 5 figures in the last 3 months. For that transparency, for my total income, so if you do the math minus my expenses, I am doing pretty good in that category and in that section. So I am satisfied for my income versus my expenses, because right now we're doing a reality check. I want you to sit and look at your numbers for the year and feel are you reaching your goals. Also, after you do this, I do want you to add something about investments accounts as well. If you haven't started investing, we definitely want to move that turn of getting your investment accounts set up, doing a Roth IRA, or you don't have to just do a high yield savings account, you guys. I like to invest in index funds as well. I feel like it's smaller, it's not as overwhelming. So think about your investments too. I didn't put that on this sheet, but if you have been investing, how is your investment progress going as well? That's something to think about as well for our categories. All right, you guys, so this has went by fairly fast. I can't believe how fast we walked through this review. So you guys, I feel like this video was so quick. I feel like it was such to the point, but I hope that this video was helpful in deciding and giving just giving you an eye opener of your spending habits, things that you have spent money on lately. Do you feel confident? Your progress check-in. If you guys feel like I'm missing anything, please let me know. I try to take my time and be as delicate with all of my videos. I feel like doing it this way and doing it every 3 months is better than waiting to the end of the year, waiting to every 6 months to do it. 3 months goes by quickly. It's fairly fast, and habits are formed in the span of 3 months. So when you're looking at your spending habits from the last 3 months and you're not satisfied, or you feel like there's changes, or you feel like you're not progressing as fast as you want to, it's time to do an intervention with yourself and ask, well, what am I going to change? What am I going to work on? And what will motivate me to get there? So I want you to think about, how much debt have you paid off from the last 3 months? If you did the quarterly review, how much debt did you pay off in that time frame? How much was in your savings? Did you have an emergency that come up? What were your unplanned in the last 3 months? Did that set you back? I want you to have those conversations with yourself, because I don't want another 6 months going by, or 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and you're saying, well, dang, I wish I would have started. So I feel like doing these check-ins are so important. If you do need help navigating through your check-in, figuring out how you can feel confident, or coming up with different methods so you can jump back on track, make sure you guys book your one-on-ones or book customized plans. I will help you and walk you through getting on track with your budget. But I highly recommend, do not miss doing this quarterly audit, you guys. It was such amazing. And I did make a new quarterly audit template that I'm potentially wanting to add to my budget planner. So if you stay to the end, subscribers, I do have a membership on my YouTube. If you guys want to join it, or if you're a subscriber on TikTok, you do get early access to trying out my new template, and you will get a video of me doing my quarterly audit using the template that will potentially go into planners in the future. So if you do want to experience that, make sure you guys hit that membership, join the family, or subscribe on TikTok, because there are subscriber only videos of me breaking down how to use the new template that I'm potentially wanting to add in my planner. So you guys will be my test guinea pigs that are my subscribers and members. So thank you guys again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit a like in the comments below. Let me know if there's something that you would do differently when it comes to doing your quarterly, or if you think there's anything I missed or anything that we should add to this. It's highly appreciated, you guys. I'm trying to make sure I have a scenario and something to help every single person. So thank you guys again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye, my loves.